Aqui embaixo, JP Galvão.
Aye, listen, do you remember the plan? Of course I do, bro. Come on.
Com todo carinho. Ih, rapá. Os dois foram na bola, né? Ih, vamos ver. Arthur, ih. Ah, não. Calma aí.
So basically... Yo guys, it's your boy, unacceptably unsatisfactory Trim Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. Now I'll be the first to admit last week's episode featured some controversial jokes and comments. Ah yeah, I said black. Right, sorry lads, I know you're not a massive fan. And for that I would like to apologise.
To absolutely nobody! The double champ does what the he wants!
What we will do is get right into the news. And on the theme of bullying people online, I assume this is my cue to get vexed at Liverpool for finding a new way to lose in the Premier League. No, wait, hang on a second. This wasn't in the script. This is impossible. The prophecy has been foretold. Alright, so basically, what I'm prophesizing here, Liverpool are gonna beat Wolves. I reckon it's gonna be 1-0. This isn't what I paid you for, bro. What's going on? We can finally bin off croquet and its violent fan assaulting once and for all. Well, I must say, this is vastly underwhelming. Do not adjust your sets, ladies and gentlemen. Liverpool won a football match in the game of football, and we did it via grabbing a 1-0 victory away against Wolves at the Molineux. Now, I hope I don't sound too dramatic when I say this, but our title comeback is well and truly back on. We're back in the game. The best team in the world again.
I'm being serious.
City only scored 3 in their last Premier League game. They're frail. I'll tell you who's impressed me recently. Nathaniel Phillips. This man was out on loan at Stuttgart in the 2nd tier of Germany last year, and he looks like our most solid centre-back that's actually fit, which to be fair isn't a massive achievement. He looks familiar though. I swear I've seen him before, but I reckon he could head anything that came in his direction. If he applied the right neck muscles, he could stop an oncoming train. Mayday, mayday, this is a code red. There's no way we're going to be able to stop that meteor now. I can't believe humanity's fate comes down to this. We need a hero. Diogo Jota ultimately scored the winner against his former club, which is entirely predictable, but trying to work out whether it actually went in was like sitting an optician's exam. What I do want to say is, though, I wish a speedy recovery to Wolves goalkeeper Rui Patrizio, who was stretchered off late in the game after a nasty clash. Hopefully he gets well soon. We see him back on the pitch in no time. But from a Liverpool perspective, hopefully this result can spur us on. And on the theme of Spurs, we had the North London derby featuring them and Arsenal, but it was the red side of North London that was victorious here, with Arsenal coming back from 1-0 down to win 2-1. Now, Erik Lamela was the star of the show in this one, it's fair to say, with an unreal Rabona finish, which has to be a massive contender for goal of the season. His teammate Sergio Reguilon couldn't quite believe his eyes. This has got massive potential, has this image realistically. In my expert opinion, however, he must have no right foot. How do you assess this situation and decide that wrapping your left foot round the other one is the best course of action? At this point, they should just change the numbering on the back of his shirt. It's instinctive though. It's brilliant. Not that you'd know it from Martin Tyler's commentary. It's in. He's done it. Erik Lamela has done it. I'm fed up of hearing this man commentate like he's just had bad news from an STD clinic. But then Lamela was involved for all the wrong reasons. Already on a yellow, he swung out at Kieran Tierney, catching the Scotsman with his forearm and was hence sent off. Jose knew the game was up in the background. He didn't even try and protest it. I feel sorry for the geezer. It's like managing a team of set 8s at this point. Eric, mate, use your feet. Use your... Oh my God. An impressive 3 points for Arsenal, given it was an attack force that was missing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was relegated to watching on from the sidelines for disciplinary reasons. I'm going to assume it's timekeeping reasons. He arrives nice and early for training, but his hairline's 20 minutes behind, so... And at the opposite end, Harry Kane just arrived late to the whole flipping football match. You can't just arrive at the 88th minute and think everything's calm. He did, to be fair, leave a mark on Gabriel with this extremely late challenge, but it's Harry Kane, he's the English wonder boy, so he'll get away with with it. The news headlines won't take any notice of it whatsoever. Look, with this result, at least Lucas's celebration finally means something. L for Lucas. Stop doing it. It's not your celebration. After a spell of good form, Gareth Bale had no intentions in helping the shit show that was Matt Doherty's defending, and Spurs will need to try and find some sort of consistency if they're going to make it into the Champions League. Meanwhile, Arsenal are making a late charge for Europe. And over in the Champions League, City are through to the quarterfinals after a routine victory versus Gladbach. With no strikers, as the German side were quick to point out. With Ilkay Gundogan's record, that's highly disrespectful. This now means that Pep Guardiola can experiment in the next round and ultimately try out his new 1-2-6-3-1 formation. No, Pep, Kevin De Bruyne is not an inverted right wing back. Why is the club secretary playing as a false nine? And they're joined by Real Madrid, who convincingly beat Atalanta 4-1 on aggregate in their tie. Off the pitch though, and it's been a dramatic week for the Spanish Giants. First, there was an ultras war between their fans and Atletico Madrid's. Real's ultras and Atletis organised a 10v10 brawl. At least make it 11v11 for fuck's sake. It's not even on brand. They agreed to no weapons, but eventually people were caught and it was broken up. I just love how organised this was. Out here organising it via email. No, you first, you first. No, I insist, honestly, Hugo. Then their website was hacked and details of an injury for Brazilian youngster Rodrigo were leaked. An injury that he doesn't even have. But one player who's definitely injured right now is Eden Hazard. This man's out injured again. Who's their physio department? The cast of Holby City. It's like secondary school settings. He walks in with ankle ligament injuries and they just give him an ice pack and paper towels. Now here's some Nurofen. Yeah, there's a lollipop for you as well. This man's got the fitness of an 87-year-old with chest pain. Prince Philip could give him a race around the stadium. If Rodrigo does end up injured, then we all know who's going to be waiting for him in the medical room.
Don't fucking try any of that shit, because I've been here before. I'm a professional. This is what I do.
Now, one team that could end up getting into Europe is West Ham United. Despite their 1-0 defeat at the hands of Manchester United, they're 5th in the league, 3 points behind Chelsea, and with a game in hand. Imagine them in the flipping Champions League. Swap pleasantries at kickoff and Mark Noble hands over a plate of jelly deals. Oh yeah, just like Nana used to make them. Over in Germany now, and Bayern winger Kingsley Coman has been fined €50,000 by the club after driving to training in a Mercedes rather than an Audi. Now, Audi are official sponsors of Bayern, hence he's not allowed to arrive into training in any other car. But imagine that was the case for any sponsorship that's ever happened. You're not coming in unless you're driving a Peugeot 306. Meanwhile, English footballing icon Gaza Paul Gascoigne is going to be on the Italian version of I'm a Celebrity, and it's just as good as you thought it would be. In Sweden now, and there's the news that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is returning to the Swedish national side in order to play in Euro 2020. He's come back with some I'm God tweet. Yeah, we get it. You're 47 is what you are. You haven't even found a HD image of yourself. How are you gonna find the top corner? I get it, he's still in form. He's still been good for Milan this season. But if you're another Swedish striker, you're vexed, aren't you? Give it 2 more tournaments. They're gonna have to excavate this guy when they want to play him. Oh mate, Euro 48. It's gonna be an absolute banger for him. French winger Thomas Lemar got caught with his trousers down this week, literally speaking. AC Milan forward Ante Rebic was sent off over in Italy this week for dissent. That's because he said to the referee that he'd seen his mother being a prostitute in Naples, which is probably a fair enough reason to get red carded, really. And staying on the Italian theme, we've got this absolutely outrageous goal in the 2nd division, and it comes from Cremonese's Michele Castagnetti. Thank God Martin Tyler wasn't on this commentary duty. Now, the next story is a serious one. No jokes here, because Angel Di Maria had to be pulled at half-time from a League On game against None because he received word from his manager that his home had been burgled, like violently. Now, it turns out his family were in the house at the same time. I believe everyone is okay, but he's had 500,000 euros worth of stuff stolen. It's an absolute madness. Family life should not come into work life or footballing life at all in that sort of situation. It's cowardly from the burglars, but once again, I hope everyone is okay and Di Maria can get most of his stuff back. Meanwhile, his Brazilian teammate Neymar was just chilling in the background with a Fortnite deal. It's all kicking off in the Di Maria household. He's still dropping out of the battle bus. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Tem contra-ataque, Edinho levou na cara do gol, vai fazer, se atrapalhou totalmente o Edinho.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home, and after scoring a hat-trick for Leicester, Kelechi Iheanacho provided one of the most heartwarming interviews you're likely to see.
I'm going to use this opportunity to dedicate this hat-trick to all the mothers in the world. They should keep taking care of us. I wish them all a happy Mother's Day.
Well, that was a lovely answer to that question.
Salford City defeated Portsmouth in the Papa John's Trophy final at Wembley, which wouldn't be news usually, but it was for the 2020 tournament. The original date was cancelled. It was moved to this year, one day prior to the 2021 final, which means they hold the record for the shortest time holding onto a trophy, being 1 day. Meanwhile, down in League 2, and there's the story of 41-year-old midfielder Kevin Ellison. Now, for 9 years, he played for Morecambe until the start of this season when he was frozen out and eventually let go by a manager who he now despises. Move the clock forward, he's signed for Newport County and the two sides are facing up against each other. He scores against his former club and gives us this celebration.
Yes, and he scored! And Ellison has scored!
Nothing but a shithousery award is relevant here for Big Kev. Up in Scotland, and a cake designed to look like Rangers forward Alfredo Morelos went viral. The likeness is uncanny here, I cannot lie to you. In League On, and Montpellier striker Andy Delors scored and then celebrated by walking up to a camera and eating Haribos. I don't know whether it was a sponsored situation. The goal, however, was disallowed, yeah, once you've done that celebration, it's hard to come back from. Meanwhile, there's incredible footage coming out of Bulgaria, where a referee made a controversial decision, it's fair to say, and it led to him being chased off the pitch and into the car park by the team that felt they'd been wronged by him. Wait till Bulgaria gets VAR and the players realise all they can do is beat up the monitor. On a serious level though, don't actually attack referees and match officials, they're just trying to do their job. You'd argue the foot is slightly high in this situation. In Russia, and Rubin Kazan and FC Ufa just decided they were gonna play FIFA Street during the middle of one of their games. In Hungary, and one club by the name of Pomaj FC have been letting fans into their stadium for matches despite lockdown regulations, and they've been doing this by giving them fluorescent vests and disguising them as marshals on the touchlines. The Hungarian FA only found this out because someone walked in with a hidden camera. How? Who thought this was a good idea? Over in Croatia now, and Dinamo Zagreb manager Zoran Mamic has been forced into resignation ahead of a Europa League clash versus Tottenham, and that's because he's had a 5-year prison sentence confirmed by Croatia's Supreme Court this week. How does this happen? What did he even do? Right, now going into this one, lads, I want you to focus play down the wings. And by that I mean wing 5B and 6A. Physics was simply not applied to the footballing world this week. First of all, we've got this save and I'm having to apply advanced trigonometry to work out how it's even happened. Over in Argentina and River Plate, we'll be wondering how this shot didn't go in. Isaac Newton in the mud. Meanwhile, over in Australia, and in one of the fiercest rivals between Melbourne Victory and Adelaide United, young striker Kuzini Yengi scored to make it 2-1 to the away side. He celebrated with this in front of the opposition fans. I can't quite believe my eyes. The boldness, the bravery, the shithousery. Now though, it's time for Still at 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is the segment of the show where I bring to the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now, you know what this segment's all about. Usually we're seeing a lack of skill and limited footballing capabilities. But this week we're seeing plenty of it, at the expense of a hapless defender. On to the weird stuff though now. Now, over in Brazil, I don't even know how I'm going to introduce this part, so I'm just gonna say it. A referee was caught pissing in the center circle before a game kicked off. I don't know how that's happened or why that's happened either. The game's starting. Did you not foresee this coming like 3 minutes ago before you brought the players out? How is he gonna control the players when he can't even control his bladder? We've got the story of a Kenyan club team by the name of Wazito FC beating an entire country 2-1 in a friendly in Slovakia, and we've got one of the most unique football stadiums you're ever likely to see, with a train running through it. Meanwhile, there's slightly different scenes on a footballing touchline somewhere in Southeast Asia. And finally, there was the extremely odd story that developed over on Twitter this week. Memphis Depay was trending for a number of days, and that's because if you typed his first name, just Memphis, and tweeted it out on the platform, you got your account suspended. I don't really know what the reason for that is, but people were using it as an opportunity to ask what Depay's first name was, and there was a sea of deleted accounts in the comment section. That, though, is gonna wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.